Tucker Carlson is back in Moscow.
So we came back to Moscow yesterday to interview the foreign minister of Russia.
I'm an American standing in Moscow as well. And we are going to show you in this video where Tucker has been, where he has filmed, where he has interviewed, and you will get to see what he has seen on the steps of Red Square and the surrounding area. Welcome to Expat American. I am the Expat American. Find out what's going on right now.
Not that I'm a communist, though.
Where exactly are we? Are we headed toward an unprecedented conflict between Russia and the United States?
Yeah, he's got a great style. I think Americans who are now a big player in this conflict.
But it's some sort of demonstration.
And you ask also...
You got a police presence.
Yeah, demonstration.
Who are you again?
The Igor in Russia, YouTuber, foreigner traveling to Russia and showing you how to get here and show you the real life in Russia.
Very good. All right, come over this way, sir. Behind us, the Four Seasons Hotel. What is this hotel, Igor?
I think it's a pretty luxurious hotel, something that Tucker Carlson probably would like, I assume. And that's right next to the Kremlin, so I guess this is like, is it a five-star hotel?
It is a world-famous international hotel. This one in particular is the one right off of Red Square. You can see a lot of people, military people, tourists. They're setting up for the holiday market, and that vehicle right there, the engine is on, that military vehicle or police vehicle, they are parked in front of an underground museum, which is where you can actually go underneath the Four Seasons and see old excavated Moscow. And yes, that is where he has stayed, and he must have gone on top of that roof when he interviewed Putin, because this is the view that we saw from up high.
Vladimir Putin.
And he motioned to the Historic State Museum and he said, the Kremlin, which that is not the Kremlin, but no worries, it's close enough. The Kremlin is right next to it. It's that tower behind.
About 7 p.m. in the building behind us, which is, of course, the Kremlin.
But you know what I managed to understand from his latest video about this teaser about Sergey Lavrov? He's probably actually standing in front of or next to Basil Cathedral filming this way.
I'm glad you said that because I disagree, and that gives our video some arguing and some tension, albeit a little bit fake because he's my friend. I think that he was standing over there just by like 100 feet because, here, slide over this way, cameraman. I think what you saw behind him is this image. It was like part of the medieval gate, and then his face, and then part of the historic castle, and he did it at night. And I thought to myself, wow, I should film more in this area at night because it looks beautiful.
In February, after interviewing Vladimir Putin, we've watched from the United States as the Biden administration has driven the U.S. ever closer to a nuclear conflict with Russia, the country that possesses the world's largest nuclear arsenal.
But notice his camera's got like a $10,000 price tag or more because it's like super, you can feel the depth of the camera and you can feel the epicness, plus it's blurred enough. But we film in real life cameras and this is how it actually looks like. Not the Hollywood stuff. This is reality.
Now, I have something else I want to ask you. Look over here. So if you're not from Russia or Moscow, you see those red flags? Communist flags. So Igor, tell people who don't know, is Russia communist? Is this a big deal? What does this mean?
Clearly here is Soviet flags, but there's the paratroopers flag. Maybe for the ongoing situation, for the Russian army, maybe, I don't know. Is Russia communist? Well, far from it. It's more capitalist, if anything.
If you had to define it in
Yeah,
those terms.
yes, but Communist Party has been going down for many years. As you can see, the age over here is like 60 and above, so those who support usually are elderly or older people, or some young people who maybe like history or like the ideology, but quite small. It's maybe top 5, I don't know, but quite small party in
So
Russia.
maybe it's something like the Green Party in America.
Similar.
So anyway, Tucker is here to do an interview with Lavrov, and he did an interview with Putin, which is very famous. My first time watching the Tucker-Putin interview. We'll show you a little bit more now of where he walks, so come this way. I lived in Florida, New York, and California while I was in America for most of my life, and then I moved to Moscow 8 days before the special military operation. The photo they showed of the interview spot, it looked like the Kremlin to me. It did not look like Gostuma. Gostuma is Russian parliament, and it actually is on the other side of the Four Seasons. So we're standing underneath the medieval gates, and if you look back where we just were, you see the crowd, you see the communist flags. That's the Four Seasons Hotel on the roof where he stood. Right on the other side of that is Gostuma, which is Russian parliament. We're stepping onto Red Square in just a second. I love these old actual gates.
It never gets old to get here. A lot of people say the favorite place in Russia, in Moscow, is Red Square. It doesn't get old. It's every time you come here, it does make an effect. Like, look at this. So I totally get it. You can do here every week, every evening and day. It's still good. But Moscow is so big. There's so much to see. But you will be happy coming only to Red Square.
Right.
Just a few weeks ago, the Biden administration, American military personnel launched missiles into mainland Russia and killed at least a dozen Russian soldiers.
This is Red Square. The sun is in our eyes in the camera's face, but that's the Kremlin wall. We'll go a little bit closer so we can see it better. But yeah, you're right. I mean, some people complain, stop filming in Red Square. So I have like 700 videos. Probably 30 of them are in Red Square. So yeah, it's probably where I filmed the most, but it's what the world wants to see. It's the most famous spot in all of Russia. And it's also where I live, so it's very convenient.
So does Putin actually work at Kremlin?
Yeah,
Is his office?
He works and lives at the Kremlin for sure, but he has other places to live and work as well.
Yep.
So this is a working government facility. I think the only working government facility that is still housed within an actual ancient medieval fortress.
Oh.
So this is the Kremlin.
So we are, unbeknownst to most Americans, in a hot war with Russia, an undeclared war, a war you did not vote for and that most Americans don't want, but that is ongoing.
Now, did Tucker walk to it like we did? Probably not. They probably had a car pick him up and drive him through an employee gate, I would guess. You hear the bells right now. There's St. Basil's in the distance. And
free music.
Yeah. So take a look. It's like holidays.
They opened it, by the way, just now. Like, it wasn't open, I think, yesterday. It opened today, or maybe yesterday, but like on these days, the market.
Yeah, so I filmed here inside the gourmet shopping mall, which you can see right over there, the beige one, with the cameraman Ben. And that was just a couple of days ago, and that's probably when Tucker had arrived. So we could have run
Coincidence?
into him.
I don't think so. Do you think he's gonna do once again a viral video like from Russian grocery store or something like that, or Russian McDonald's?
So that's what I was going to say is, we can also only speculate what else Tucker might do, right? He flew into an airport, and yes, the airport looked like any airport, an airport in your city, and then he was on busy traffic roads to the Four Seasons, in their hired vehicles. And he's probably spent most of his time in the Four Seasons, except for going into, I think, the Kremlin for the interview. And if he walked around at all, it would be with security, because he's a famous guy. And I'm sure he came here and walked around. He might be walking around right now. Why would a person come all this way and not see Red Square, even if it's again? And right here is the City Walk, which he probably walked down and he probably had a beer or a hamburger. But you asked, because before he did a short Metro video, he did a short grocery store video.
And I think McDonald's, right?
And then, he did a McDonald's video.
Very short, by the way. Why?
So I would not be surprised, because short videos do well, which is what I hope this one will be. I would not be surprised if he does something down here.
But he did like a 1 minute video, 2 minute video. That's very short, but I guess he's Tucker Carlson, so he can do that.
Yeah, that's true. Because you are, like I like to say, a Soviet man. You know this part of the world better than, let's say, a Westerner. Who is Lavrov? Because Tucker interviewed Putin, that was a big deal, and now he's interviewing Lavrov. Did I say it right? Lavrov.
Lavrov, yes.
Lavrov.
Sergey Lavrov.
So who is Sergey Lavrov?
He's the, he's a respected man, of course. He's respected all across the world as a diplomat. I think he's the longest serving foreign minister in the world. 20-something years. But in general, well, he's respected among, Russian people. But I gotta say, I'm not a political guy, but I can tell also that he's not a person who would be like ever try to maybe think about maybe future positions, put it like this. So he was happy with what he was doing. He's good with what he's doing, and he's been good to Russia, I think.
And because of that war, because of the fact that the U.S. military is killing Russians in Russia right now, we are closer to nuclear war than at any time in history.
It's a very, very tense and dangerous time for the world right now. And Tucker, who is a newsman, I think with this recent presidential election cycle, he's kind of moved from, in my opinion, from newsman to political voice, political leader, because he really has a large platform, and people like Trump must be talking with him a lot, and there is no communication officially between DC and Moscow anymore. So if Tucker is coming here after working closely with Trump, the soon-to-be new president, and he's having an interview, I'm sure they're talking about other things as well. And so it's my guess is that Tucker, well, I know from watching his show, he's very passionate that World War III doesn't, I want to say happen, but maybe we'll say it is already happening. So I guess make sure World War III doesn't escalate.
I think I wondered, like, what is he going to be speaking about with Lavrov? Tucker wants to use his channel, use a person that is respected and trustworthy, so to speak. So just to lay the situation out, and that what actually America is doing, showing the truth, and that's the impact.
We felt there must be someone behind the scenes in Washington working to make sure that this conflict doesn't become a nuclear holocaust. But we found out that no, in fact, there is nobody.
The people need to know what does these decisions imply, and what risks there lies.
Right.
That's his goal, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of how to say it in a way that is going to be helpful for me with the algorithm. But I mean, basically, you have one administration, the Biden administration, which is on their way out in like 40 days, something like that. I'm not exactly sure. So a very short amount of time. And they are certain that Russia's the bad guy and that they need to help Russia lose. And then you have the Trump administration that Tucker is for, that wants to make peace and wants to bring things to an end. And so, and now, you've got fireworks going back and forth across the border. So, you could say, like I said, officially it is World War III. And, it's funny because I think most people are just normal people like us. We're just living our lives, and if we're not careful, we don't really think about it. But I mean, something nuclear could happen, and it could be over in like 15 minutes, like the whole world, So, I definitely say my prayers for this time and for this meeting.
Tony Blinken, the current Secretary of State, cut off all contact between the US and Russian governments. There is no back channel, there is no conversation, and there hasn't been for more than 2 years.
Help Russia lose is something that even the Western media in the West actually don't even say it like that. They say it's impossible to actually lose anything. It's not about that. It's actually, so I don't know what they're trying to gain. You know, I think the only risk is their escalation.
Yeah.
Escalation. That's it.
Which puts us all at risk.
Yeah. So the West says Russia
little
cannot.
Kids at risk. You know, everyone.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, most Americans have no access to any perspective other than that granted to them by NBC News and the New York Times. They don't know how close we are. They don't know the Russian perspective.
All right, well, we're going to end here. Come this way, guys.
We're going to go to exact McDonald's and buy exactly the same burger. No.
Because I told Maxime, my little son here, my youngest of 5 children, that I would take him to a cafe. And we're talking about the fact that Tucker is here in Moscow. And what is he doing as far as important work, but as far as fun? This right here is a Soviet cafe. And I'm going to take Maxime into this Soviet cafe right now. And we will see. This is a place Tucker could have easily had lunch in. And maybe we'll see in a couple days he'll have a short video about it. I don't know.
Maybe he's there right now.
Exactly. So I'm going to go get some green tea and have maybe some sort of Russian pancake blini. Yes, yes. Maybe Igor will join me, my Soviet Latvian friend. Maybe he won't.
Don't use Soviet, don't use Latvian. What the hell? It gets only worse. Say a foreign traveler.
What did you think of this video, guys? Click like, subscribe, ring the bell notification, click the box to see what happens next, which is going to be me on Igor's channel. You're going to get to see more of us together. He's going to ask me something that no one has asked me before. Right, Igor?
Yes, and hopefully you are able to answer it.
And then you'll also have to subscribe to Igor's channel because I say so. But leave a comment. Tell us what you think of this video. Tell us what you think of Tucker being in Moscow. How important is it?
Peace out. Are you filming?
Yeah, he's rolling. With
I knew that you're gonna...
a Soviet man. There are other guys like Medved and, did I say it right?
Medvedev.
Medvedev. And I want to make sure I get it right. And
Zakharova.
All right, say
Oh,
something
man.
interesting, Igor.
That was a dog.
We have. You ready? Be quiet if you want to go home. We have. It's been a few months since your last political commentary on my show, so that meant it was time for another Igor episode.
Political commentary. Did you say something?
Moving political party. Oh yeah, there's a plane in the sky. My son Maxime just pointed out there's a plane in the sky. You see the, what's that called? The stream?
Yeah,
that leaves?
I forgot.
Chemtrail.
Yeah.
People don't like chemtrails.
Yeah,
I need to do my research and learn about it, or maybe I won't.